I was the soft rapper from Philly and he was Pac.
Right.
Pac came in the studio mad or something about Jada telling him to leave Will alone.
He will be my friend for my whole life. She can have my one heart, my liver, my lungs, all of that.
The Smith family can't seem to catch a break. After the stunt that Will pulled on the international stage of the Oscars, his already destroyed image has plummeted even more. Recently, the infamous Suge Knight revealed that there was some bad blood between Tupac and Will, and it came to the point where Will's life was also in great danger. Oof. Looks like Will's quite deeply involved in this, because the internet is running wild after this revelation. Hang on tight, guys, because we've got all the deets for you, so let's get into it. We all know how broken Jada Pinkett's marriage with Will Smith is, right? Well, the word on the street is that the ghost of Tupac still hunts the couple to this day. This secret love triangle started when Jada started dating Will Smith, aka the Fresh Prince, in the 1990s. Tupac and Jada were high school friends and shared a sacred bond with each other. And their wholesome relationship was tragically cut off after Tupac was killed in a drive-by shooting. This tragic loss was tumultuous for Jada. It was very hard for her to move on. In an old interview right after her soulmate's death, Jada broke apart on live TV while remembering their time together.
That was a huge loss in my life. I really did believe that he was going to be here for the long run.
But their spiritual bond remained the same even after the tragedy, as Jada kept him alive in her heart. Let's get the obvious out of the way, that Pac did not approve of Will Smith dating Jada, period. He hated the relationship so much that he criticized Will in his music. And we know that music depicts the deepest desires of an artistic man flawlessly.
I was the soft rapper from Philly and he was Pac.
Right.
Well, at least he didn't do a diss song about you or nothing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Awful.
Exactly.
Looks like Tupac knew Will Smith was not the man who could make his Jada happy from the beginning. While he was alive, Tupac had been very vocal about his love for Jada. He held her in really high regard. The All Eyes on Me artist was asked how much his friendship with Pinkett Smith means to him in the documentary Resurrection. And while smiling, the rapper replied that Pinkett Smith has his heart and can have whatever she wants. Jada?
He will be my friend for my whole life. She can have my one heart, my liver, my lungs, all of that.
Jada was more than aware of how protective Pac was over her and was positive he was jealous of Will Smith. In a Red Table Talk session, the Nutty Professor actor said that her friend didn't want her flirting with anyone else. For him, it was, we were an anchor for each other. Anytime he felt that anchor was threatened, oh my God. Will Smith was more aware of the depth of the relationship. In an interview with The Breakfast Club, Will Smith admitted that he was very jealous of the bond that those two shared. He wished Jada would look at him the way she looked at Tupac.
But she just loved him like he was the image of perfection, but she was with the Fresh Prince, so it was like, I never could like.
So from the very start, Will was intimidated by Pac. He himself confessed that even though Jada had assured him on several occasions that he was very similar to Pac, he did not have the guts to speak to him. Literally, even when they were in the same room.
We were in a room together a couple times. I couldn't speak to him, and he wasn't going to speak to me if I wasn't going to speak to him. I wasn't man enough to handle that relationship.
And this drive to make it big for someone to be on par with Tupac, Will started to go head on into work. Sole motivation was to cover his personal insecurities with his professional skills. He wanted to be seen as a big shot rather than a side character in his own life.
When I started, I had, all these grand ambitions of what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And, I want to be the biggest movie star in the world.
Even though Smith did make it big and made a name in the industry, he lost sight of what was important. But despite his efforts, Tupac did not lose his spot in Jada's life. The word on the street is that Suge Knight was tight with Tupac. The drug dealer was invested in Tupac's music business and was making hot bucks, even when the East and West Coast feud was raging on. Now, we already know that Suge Knight is not a friend one should keep on good days, much less as an enemy. Suge knew Tupac was in bad relations with Will, but he manipulated Pac into surrendering his plans to make a dent in Will's career. We know what you might be wondering. What did Suge get from stopping Tupac to mess with Will? Well, here's a hint. An upcoming superstar with no backbone to support him, and you rule underground work. The cherry on the top is that your friend has already subdued him, so you can easily extort some good money from him, because why not? Money never hurts anybody, right? But Suge overlooked a teeny tiny detail that Will was also from the suburbs, so he was more than acquainted with the street lifestyle.
I need a cut of that Will Smith business.
But since Will was coming from West Philly, he was no stranger to violence, and so he ignored Suge, kinda.
None of us carried guns in Philly. All of us carried guns in LA.
But that didn't stop Suge, so he sent more messages.
I need a cut of that Will Smith business. You should probably respond.
Will threw a curveball in the mix and had his lawyer work things out with Suge. Needless to say, Suge decided it was not worth the hassle to begin with and got off Will's back. But things did not get better as one might have expected. Jada somehow got wind of what was going on, so she called Tupac and firmly chastised him for hurting her boyfriend. Tupac felt that like a blow in the gut because he was just playing. He had no intention of doing so, and he expected his soulmate to know that. But Jada's accusations made Tupac very upset. Even Napoleon, a close acquaintance, was aware of his emotions.
He was very upset, you know what I mean? You know, Pac came in the room, he's like, man, Jada, she gonna contact me and tell me don't do nothing to Will Smith.
So Tupac, the center of the hip-hop industry, was deeply aggravated by Jada's harsh comments. But fans have their own take on the situation. Narcissists always make a bigger deal about themselves, and Jada is definitely a narcissist. I honestly don't think she told Tupac to not beat up Will Smith because she thought he would. She said it because she was triangulating, which is something narcissists do to mess with people and keep them under their thumb. That and in her mind, she was such an incredible catch that she expected that men in general would literally fight over her. Both men should never have given her the time of day, but narcs are very charming and they know just what buttons to push on people. One thing is for sure, Jada did not get over Tupac at all and took it out on Will. She literally pushed him around however she wanted to the point where that man literally gave up on his marriage.
I was done with your ass.
You kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though.
And the worst thing ever was when Jada cheated on Will with her son's friend. That is seriously the new low, even for Jada. And this came to light when during an interview in 2020, August Alsina claimed that he had previously been romantically involved with Tupac Smith and that her husband gave his blessing.
I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, you know, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it.
After initially denying the musician's claims, Tupac Smith later revealed that she was separated from Smith when the entanglement took place. We were over. From there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August, the Gotham alum said on the Red Table Talk that same month. And she conveniently justified her actions by saying, yes, it was a relationship, absolutely. I was in a lot of pain and I was very broken. Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself. The public realizes that Jada has shown time and time again that she is not in love with Will and is playing a victim card using Pac's name. Such a toxic person should not be allowed to be in a relationship. They call Will out for being a spineless as he stays with her even though he knows what goes on inside her head. When someone treats you that way, is only because you hold no value to that person. It is your choice to stay or leave. If you stay knowing that you have no value and no respect by that person, then you are not the victim. You just settle for being the expandable man that wants to be loved by someone who will never love you. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.